If you'll kind of make your way to your seats, and we're going to bring up the panel for our panel discussion. I have Thomas there, Thomas. Okay, we got some really good panelists to talk to you about a lot of the different elements of crowdfunding, and there's going to be some Q&A. So let's get right into that. Let me introduce our first panelist. Thomas Alvord currently resides in Cedar Hills, Utah with his wife Melanie and their 3 sons. Thomas graduated from Brigham Young University with a law degree and a master's degree in public administration. He is currently an attorney with the Utah State Bar. Thomas is an avid proponent of the Pareto principle. You may have to look that up. I did. And in getting more work done with more results with less work. He has run marketing for many online digital companies, including multiple United States presidential campaigns and multi-million-dollar political committees. He has consulted with Fortune 500 companies on how to improve their digital marketing strategy. Thomas has raised millions of dollars using crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. So, welcome, Thomas Alvord. Our next panelist is Caleb Light. Caleb started his first company, Cubad, in 2008. Sold advertising to companies like Overstock.com, Zag, and the University of Utah. Caleb co-founded Power Practical in 2011 and developed the initial strategy to bring the Powder Pot to market, primarily through the use of crowdfunding. Currently, Caleb manages all sales channels and operations at Power Practical. Caleb has a passion for outdoors and loves whitewater rafting, fly fishing, and bow hunting. Welcome, Caleb. Our next panelist is Alisa Gammon. She is the social advertising director at Purple, which reached 1 billion video views, 500 million in valuation, went public in 2 years, and raised $2.6 million on Kickstarter in under 2 years. Alisa achieved the distinction of the top 2% performing Facebook advertising accounts globally and grew Purple's channel revenue by 900% in 2017. Welcome, Alisa Gammon. I want to introduce Bryce Hansen, who is going to be the moderator of the panel discussion. Tell you a little bit about Bryce. Bryce has worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs and companies providing advertising support and business planning and strategy, fundraising guidance, and financial analysis. He is the Associate Director of the Salt Lake Regional Small Business Development Center. In his nights and weekends, he is helping his wife bring Ergle Spout, right back here, to market. Bryce holds a Master of Accountancy from Weber State University and an MBA in Technology Commercialization from Westminster College. So please welcome Bryce, and for all that you've done to help bring this together, Bryce. Bryce Hansen.
Okay, so we're going to start with, thank you so much, Roger. We're going to start with Alisa. She's going to, did I say the name right? Okay, making sure, all right. She's going to do a 3-minute pitch on what she's been doing, and we're going to just go through each of the panelists about 3 minutes each, and then we'll dive into Q&A. So just let you run with it.
Yeah, so my name is Alisa Gammon, and I'm one of the core leaders on Purple's marketing team. I'm also on the board of Salt Lake City Search Engine Marketing, which is Utah's largest marketing association, and I'm proud of being an NCAA runner and also a nationally ranked wrestler. I previously honed my marketing skills over 10 years ago, starting at OpenTable, and I've done consulting for the San Francisco Giants and most recently at the Color Run. And I'm on this panel because I've achieved the distinction of being a top Facebook advertising account in 2017, and also have driven Purple's channel revenue by 900%, and have helped Purple go public in under 2 years while achieving a record Kickstarter amount for Utah and driving 1 billion video views and 500 million valuation.
Cool. I'm Caleb. I'm with a company called Power Practical. We've done 9 Kickstarter campaigns. We did our first Kickstarter campaign in 2012. And we primarily use Kickstarter as a platform to bring new products to life before we take them into more traditional sales channels. So, let's see. Oh, do I gotta go this way? All right. So, some of the reasons why we use crowdfunding, it's a low-cost test, and what that means is you invest as much cash as you want relative to putting a Kickstarter campaign together, crowdfunding campaign together. You can do it for not very much money. You can do it with a lot of money, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It's cash up front. You collect all the cash, so it's a profitable way to bring a product to life, which is a really interesting phenomenon for those that have done product-based companies. It's typically a very cash-intensive process to bring a new product to life. And then the thing that is one of the more interesting things for me personally is it's a really interesting way to acquire customers. And these are like real customers. You get shipping addresses, emails, phone numbers. They're very vocal customers. They're paying for a product before it's built. So it's kind of like this really interesting group of early adopters, which is good and bad, good or bad, depending on the type of products that you bring to life. And that leads into the last point where it's like a very rapid feedback cycle. You can get feedback from these people that bought the product weeks after they got it, and we've seen insane feedback response rates. One campaign we had 6,200 backers, and 2,200 of them responded to our survey based on the product and filled it out, which is absolutely insane. So I think one of the most important things for someone to do is define what you're trying to do if you're considering doing a Kickstarter campaign. Here's a bunch of questions that you need to ask yourself and figure out before you go live. If you don't, the probability of not succeeding, I think, is greatly increased. So, will you share these?
I can, yeah.
So that if you can take a photo or not, but and then the last thing is there's kind of, when you're thinking about a crowdfunding campaign, there's 3 major pillars. Obviously, product is super important. I'm making an assumption that you already have that figured out, but it's all about the page, the video, and how you're going to support it relative with marketing. And there's a lot more details that go into this, but those are really the things that I think one needs to think about.
All right, how many of you have launched a Kickstarter campaign before? Raise your hand. How many of you are thinking about launching a campaign? So what I wanted to share was a little bit about our history and also kind of a word of encouragement. So with 3 minutes, if there's one thing I could share, it's you just got to move forward. I don't know how many people I've spoken with who have an idea, and they've had an idea for 10 years, and they're probably going to die and never launch their idea, right? It's going to go to the grave with them. And so, Funded.Today, we weren't even planning on launching Funded.Today. There was a campaign 4 years ago. If you see that chart there, you see the bottom box that says Funded.Today. This campaign had a goal of $300,000 called Freeways. And they had only raised $180,000, and they had 7 days left to raise another $120,000. And me and my business partner had consulted on another campaign, but we were not planning on launching a business. We were done. But they came to us and they said, "Will you launch this for us?" We did some tests. It looked good, but we came back and said, "Hey, we're not going to touch this. This is too risky." And so they said, please, will you please do this? We know you can do it, but here's the catch. Unless we raise them another $120,000, and at that time it was only 5 days left, they weren't going to pay us anything. So that was all going to be on us. And so we said, okay, we'll go for it. Oh, well, I did. My business partner didn't want to, so I got all the profit from that. But what happened is we went for it, and a new venture was born. And really, with any venture, and then from there, it was just word of mouth, and it kept growing. And now we have a team of 50 people. We were never planning on launching Funded.Today. So that's how we got started. That's what we do. We run marketing for Kickstarter campaigns. But my word of encouragement, if you have an idea, just move forward. I believe it was Jeff Bezos who said that he moved forward with Amazon because he didn't want to have the regret. What if I don't launch this? And he might have felt, but look at him now. Not saying that any of you are ever going to be like, I don't think any of us will ever be like that. I mean, it's kind of the luck of the draw and what industry you're in, but basically you just got to go for it.
Great. Thank you so much, guys, and thanks for sticking within the 3 minutes each. And so now we can dive into Q&A. And I have questions for all three of you, and I know all of you guys in the audience, you have burning questions, so we're going to get to the audience fairly quickly. I want to start, my first question for you, Thomas, is, first of all, how many campaigns have you worked on since co-founding Funded.Today?
I think we worked on a little over 2,000 campaigns now. 2,000
campaigns for the firm in about 4 years.
Right.
About 4 years. So looking back to your very first 3 campaigns that your firm did, and comparing them to the most recent 3 campaigns that your firm has done, what gives you pause and makes you think now, you start thinking now that's an interesting change, right? As you think about the first 3 versus the recent 3, what's just kind of like, that's interesting how things have evolved.
Yeah, I think what we've seen, and there's, I can speak a lot to this, but I think one of the things is it used to be if you had an idea for, say, a new type of wallet, or a water bottle, or a luggage, you could go launch and raise $50,000, $100,000 for the wallet, or $1 million for the luggage. And now, there's already been so many wallets, so many smart luggages, right? And if you want to have a campaign that's really successful, right, raising $250,000, $500,000, you have to create something that's actually new, right? You can't just, hey, I think we could take something that has already launched 10 times, make some tweaks to it, and launch it. But if you have something that's new, that's unique, that it's because you have so many marketing agencies now who kind of blast out all these different campaigns, so those early adopters who usually back a campaign, they've already seen 1 million wallets, they've already seen so many luggage, right? And so you got to present something that's going to be appealing. And I think one other thing, for people launching a campaign, especially the first time, margins aren't there like they used to be. You used to be able to spend $1 and raise $5 or $10. Some of the biggest campaigns, don't be deceived. You see a campaign on Kickstarter that raises $1 million or $2 million, and this wasn't the case with Purple, by the way, but a lot of campaigns that raise $1 million, $2, $3 million, they literally have no profit. Like they're spending $1 to raise $1, and they're just trying to get this big number. So that's changed. So people need to have the long haul, long-term vision.
Okay, great. Thank you. The next question is for Alisa. Purple, you run some campaigns. What's been the most effective medium for, have you used, you've used Facebook ads, you've used, I'm not sure, Google AdWords, Google YouTube. What are the most effective mediums or medium out of those?
Yeah, so Facebook has been the #1 driver for revenue for us, and I think this is likely because the newsfeed placement on Facebook has a very native feel to it. So your ads are showing up next to posts from your friends and family. And also Facebook has 1.2 billion daily active users and unmatched targeting. So you're able to find your potential customers there.
Okay, perfect. And just kind of as a follow-up to that, so kind of give us a view into, now you mentioned that you're one of the top Facebook advertisers, Purple or yourself, I think in the world, right? effectively. And so kind of give us maybe just a little view into the process that you guys undergo when you're creating these ads and kind of going through the process.
Yeah, so at Purple, we use a modular testing framework. So when we're testing a video, I'll typically have 5 intros, a couple outros in addition to the main video. And I'll start with testing the intros since that is the most impactful, since that's critical to hook viewers. And then from there, I'll move on to testing the outros, copy, headline, thumbnail, video dimensions, and video length. And as an example for the last video that I launched, we had over 28,000 different potential combinations, which can seem overwhelming. But as long as you start with testing the most important element and then move on from there, it's a simple framework to follow.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.